welcome to Start with the Facts. Happy Monday. Welcome back to Start with the Facts, the only place where all of my picks came in over the weekend.
Not true. Not true. Don't lie. Not true.
Close.
The only place prior to the Shaw's bragging, if you kept up with my picks, you made some money. So the only place in where all the picks came through. But listen, we had a crazy weekend of football. We got to have a whole lot to talk about with sports in general. But again, brought to you with our hosts. To my left, we have Brother Alex. To the right, we have our resident white guy, Brother Brian, and he made sure that we called him brother. And down in sunny South Florida, we had a great weekend of no Cane football, so we didn't have to listen to DJ last week talk about the Canes.
But, I got a lot of shit to say this week, though.
Yeah, we know. But we got Brother DJ Williams down in South Florida. So as usual, we're going to pivot and allow Brian to kick off the show. But again, once a week we do our picks. And if you would have kept up with my picks, not Brian's, if you'd have kept up with my picks, you would have made yourself a boatload of money this week. And so off to Brian.
All right, first, what day are we going to update everybody on our picks? Is that going to come on Wednesday?
Well,
I just want to clarify.
What do you mean by update?
To win money.
Okay, we can update on Mondays.
Well, okay. So as we go through the games, we'll let people know.
Okay.
All right.
There we go.
I just want to be able to clarify.
Next Monday.
At some point. Next Monday. Yeah. If you followed me, you would have made money last weekend. Anyways, let's start with a couple of really good games in the SEC. First one, let's talk about LSU going on the road to play the Fighting Lane Kiffins there in Oxford, Mississippi. Did you guys all get a chance to catch the game?
Well, I didn't. I was so too busy on the field winning with Ohio State. So I read the stat line, but I was
Big
too
shit
busy.
talking.
Yeah, I was too busy winning. So I'll let the people who did have a chance to view it, put their comments in, but then I have my comments at the end after reading the summary after I was, got on the plane after we won.
Alex, you want to kick it off?
I would love for you to kick it off with DJ, man. I want to say, DJ, the Dime Life brand is serious. I love that shirt you got on. I think the merch that you make is excellent, bro. And dang, I wish Florida State would have won. I would have spent a lot of money there. But no, the merch is good though, bro.
So speaking about Florida State, I need like 10 seconds moment of silence. All right? Everybody bow your heads. All right, that's enough. So this is official. I don't know what y'all call it up with the team up north, but this is Hate Week down here in Miami.
Okay.
And we actually have a unique tradition. And I hope they still uphold it to this day, right? Through different coaches, things change. But the week that we play Florida State, that Florida State chant plays constantly, nonstop throughout the facility. In every meeting room, in the hallways, in the training room, on the field, everywhere, constantly nonstop, right? Almost to the point that, damn, when that shit come on the game time, it's our jam, right? So I just wanted to kick that off. Hate Week, but listen, watch the Ole Miss game, LSU, and at the end of the day, it's Nussmeier, right? Coming into this season, he was looked at as supposed to be the best quarterback that's in the SEC, right?
Yeah.
That's the title that they threw on him, right? Obviously, that's not true. They have a great defense, but their offense continues to struggle. And honestly, I was just happy that Lane got that win. And at the end of the game, I just love his after the game interview, right? All week, people were taking shots at him as far as Weeks with his daughter. So after the game, he said, hey, Weeks, how'd that over-under look, right? You got to love a guy like that. We spoke about it and said that, he is the white Deion Sanders, and he continues to kill it and crush it via social media. But now he's killing it and crushing it throughout the game. And he's just he's a coach that you love to play for. I don't know if you guys have kept up with his story, but he's gotten rid of alcohol, all of those things in the past that have caused him issues. And now he's on an upward trajectory. And that's the type of coach that you love to play for.
Lane Kiffin, good job. I've been saying it for months now. And Brian, when I walked up, you said it, man, Trinidad Chambers, you hit one right there. I troll a lot, but, I kind of know the sport just a little bit. LSU and Ole Miss switched places on the top 25. Ole Miss is now number 4. with LSU being 17. Now,
That's a crazy jump.
not
13.
13. Sorry, not 17. 13.
Yeah.
That's a
Huge jump. And so I'm gonna talk about the transfer portal just real quick. DJ, I think this is the way that I like to see the transfer portal being used, the way Trinidad did. Coming from Fair State, balling out, and then going up, right? And I'll talk about it again in another game. But this kid has 0 offers, D1 offers coming out of high school. In his last 18 games, he's 17-1. I think since, don't quote me on this, 30 years, first time a quarterback has gone 3-0 with 300 passing yards and 50 rushing yards. Kid is balling.
Yeah.
Wait, is that a fact? Is that a fact?
It maybe not be 30 years. I might have them mixed up, but I'm gonna come back to it. I'm gonna get it fixed for you though. It's the first time in a while though. And so watching that game, I'm just like, yo, these cats are for real, man. And I said it a couple of weeks ago, they can go deep. I think they can go into the playoffs. They do have a gauntlet coming up with the schedule that they have, but Ole Miss is serious, and it's because of Trinidad Chambliss. Now, I know they have a bye week coming up, and then Lane Kiffin spoke about, do they bring in their other quarterback or, still kind of open, but I think you got to go with the hot hand, man. And I'm a fan of Ole Miss, so that's my take on it.
And I'll add to that. Sorry, Mo. I'll add to that as far as the transfer portal. Like we're seeing it in college football, right? You had 3 top 5 teams lose, and the positive part about it is the talent is being dispersed, right? It's starting to fall into the line of the NFL where they say any given Sunday, right? Right now in college football, and I am always a little bit biased, but I do not see a single dominant team, right? I do not see a team in college football right now. No. Bro, we can attack that shit. We can attack that shit. Sayings ain't it. Sayings ain't it. He ain't sayings. To put it like this, Sayings, you cannot put the game on his back and he win a game for you. With all them fucking weapons that you guys got on the outside, Saying ain't it. He ain't it. He's good.
DJ, that ain't a hill you want to die on.
What?
There's a couple of things you could probably say about.
Hold on. Wait.
I wouldn't.
So,
not this. I wouldn't jump on Saying's not it.
So,
Dude's got an 80% completion rate. Like,
dink and
tell
dunk.
him, Brian.
What do you mean he's
Dink
not?
and dunk. Dink and dunk.
He's done
Dink
everything
and
he's
dunk.
been asked to do.
Dink and dunk. Jeremiah
Dink and
numbers is
dunk.
down this year. Jeremiah numbers is down this year. He got all. Listen, he got all those guys, bro. Listen, and you took it personal. You took it personal. Wait, hold on. When I made that comment, I included my school in there as well.
We don't. Misery loves company.
Several years ago, there were 4 or 5 teams that we knew that were just gonna go undefeated. The bar has dropped. Last year, Ohio State won a national championship with 2 losses. The game is different.
We had 2 losses. Yeah. You're right. You're correct.
What I'm saying, college ball is different. 7-8 years ago, to be a national champion, you had to go undefeated. So when I say elite, I mean that team, when you look at them, you look at their schedule, you say there's no chance of them losing. And so I'm giving a nod to what Alex said, saying the transfer portal is good. You got Chamberlain doing moves like he is, but now you have the dispersed talent. You have the Virginians of the world beating Florida State. You have 3 top 5 teams going down. So I wasn't taking a jab I said nobody's elite. And by that, meaning when you look at their schedule, your heart's not beating a little bit on Saturday.
Yeah, no, you can speak for yourself with that. I think
that's crazy. That's crazy. See, now I can't say what I really want to say.
No.
Fans ain't it. And book that.
This is all subjective. I'm not mad. We all have our own opinions. We'll book that. We'll save that. But for the LSU versus Ole Miss game, when I looked at the stat line, I just looked at the stats, and what it came down to me was that LSU couldn't run the ball. And what comes first, the chicken or the egg? To have a good running game, you need a passing game. To have a good passing game, you need a running game. And I don't know which comes first, but they both complement one another. And I know what is his name? Brian Kelly. He went out there and said that his quarterback needed to play better You know, and then he included the entire team. But to me, I was like, man, this dude taking like a personal shot at his quarterback in front of everybody. But at the end of the statement, he included the whole team just to act like he was including the whole team. So there's obviously some frustration, but I was like, yo, bro, you know how this works. When you only have a quarterback and no running game, what the defense chooses to call is dictated on what it is that you're proving that you're doing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's not like he's going out here and probably, you know, messing up on purpose. It's just like, hey, man, you know, if they're not playing the run, if they don't feel threatened by the run and you're putting another man in the pass coverage, that can make things tough and make things hard. So that was my 2 cents on it. I don't want to belabor the point, but I don't know if you had any thoughts on it.
Nah, just a follow-up question for you guys. One of you can answer it or all of you guys, but philosophically, should a quarterback, in this case, Austin Simmons, former starter at Ole Miss, should a quarterback lose their starting position due to injury?
Me, I'm going with who's winning. Like, you know, and that's the nature of the business. Like you don't, you can't control injury. You know, that's the nature of football, right? But you have to do what's best for the team, right? And if he's going out here and proving that he's like, you know, 300 300-yard games of passing against quality opponents, and you're a winner.
Yep.
Like even the stat when he said, what you said, 17-1 or
17-1.
17-1. That's just a winner. That attitude is just a winner. So like that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, like just guys being winners, but that has like an impact on guys in the locker room, the confidence you walk out with, the way that you feel, you jogging onto the field. If something bad happens, like who do you lean on and depend on? So I would do that, you know. Sometimes in life, shit is just tough. Like it is what it is, and sometimes you just lose your. Like we wouldn't have Tom Brady if it wasn't for Drew Bledsoe going down.
Yeah,
100%.
You know? So that's, I don't know if they have thoughts. That's just my thoughts on it.
I think he hit it. I hit it. Oh, yeah. Never mind.
Yeah,
that's Paul.
Listen,
I think I need to go with it, man. Once I stop myself, it makes it sound real bad, but good job on that one.
Ain't no cloak today. Cloaks don't get handed out on Monday. I've been a part of probably one of the biggest talent discrepancies ever, right? And like Mo said, it's whoever has the hot hand, but it's the dynamic and the way that the team is gelling, right? When I was playing for the Denver Broncos, we had Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning had I can't remember if it was a neck or an arm issue. We set him down for 2 or 3 games. We put in Brock Osweiler. We don't know how it started happening, but shit got to rolling.
I remember that.
There was a point where Peyton was ready again, ready to go. And believe it or not, they pulled the trigger and they went with Brock Osweiler. And a lot of times sometimes coaches are superstitious. Sometimes it's just the feeling and the energy, right? And we'll jump into that when we speak about Jackson Dart, when you just put another guy out there and, you know, did Brock Osweiler have this young, youthful energy and ignite the huddle or whatever it is? But one thing that you know I do know is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if the backup is rolling and the team is winning, then I don't see many coaches breaking up that dynamic, right?
Oh, and let me say this, DJ, but that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes, like in sports, you have the things on the stat sheet that the common fan can relate to and identify and say, okay, this is what makes a difference, like your measurables, right? But confidence is the ultimate everything in sport. And when you have a guy who makes you more confident, I don't even know how you quantify that. You know what I'm saying? But everybody knows when they have somebody who's walking out there that they just say, yo, I feel better about doing this thing with this player. You know what I'm saying? And you can't explain that to nobody else. That's like that's a locker room feel. That's something that you feel throughout the week during practice. But as he was naming it, maybe Brock Osweiler, and I don't want to butcher his name, maybe him sitting around and with proximity saw how Peyton Manning prepared, and he was able to absorb just whatever greatness that Peyton Manning had, and he was able to duplicate it based upon Peyton Manning's preparation, stuff that he's never done before, because you can get around great people and just mimic them. And then you end up stealing something from them that you probably didn't have before that. So, I don't want to take the conversation that direction, but like this is kind of what I'm talking about. But sometimes these conversations are never brought into media in general.
Yeah.
The confidence that somebody instills in other people. Those are my 2 cents.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. That's why I wanted to ask a question. Just as former players, get your guys' feedback. Sticking with the SEC, boy, were we quick to shit on Alabama right out of the gate. I think we all jumped in.
Hey, I told you a few months ago, Kalen was my boy. I was rooting for him. Got receipts. I got receipts.
Resident genius. You're looking good today.
I'm still not convinced.
So Alabama, after they get blown out by Florida State, they go on the road, or they win a couple of games quietly, get some momentum. Now go on the road and beat Georgia 24-21. I guess the easy question is Alabama back?
I don't think Alabama ever left. I mean, they had their seasons. Well, listen, when Nick Saban left, he left with it. The way that he ran the program was definitely different than the way Kalen does it right now. But I have a little indirect bias to Alabama. When I was in Białystok, Poland, I played with a kid named Javontes Blackman, Snoop, I call him, who went to UT Martin. And UT Martin is where Ty Simpson's father coached.
That, yeah.
And so I've been knowing about Ty Simpson for a long time, just from hearing Snoop talk about him, like, oh, yo, this dude's going to Alabama. And back to the transfer portal, he's been there for 4 years. He sat behind Bryce Young, and then the last 2 years he sat behind Jalen Milroe. Now, you talk about proximity. He's seen these guys prepare.
Yeah.
Heisman winner, another guy, Jalen, getting drafted. He's like, yo, I'm just going to wait my chance. He didn't transfer. He could have. And this is what I like it. Like, yo, he stuck to his guns. He stood on business. Now, to me, and if you guys watch the game, he looks like the best pro-style quarterback in the NCAA right now. And when you look at the Heisman odds, I believe he's number 2 right now. So he jumped.
He jumped
a lot. I mean, from the way that he does his play fakes to getting his head around before he actually set and delivering that ball right between the ways. You get what I'm saying?
He's been groomed. Yeah. Yeah.
I hate this word.
Bro, listen.
Word, by the way.
Listen.
If you don't just keep talking.
Listen.
He was supposed to be going.
This is football. This is football, man.
I just get so passionate about it, as you
The
guys
whole-
can see.
The whole dialogue of football is
bad.
plausible.
All of
So
it.
just let it run. You know what I'm saying? If you got a point, get it off. See what I'm saying?
That's Paul.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
But they look good, and Georgia doesn't look bad, But I do remember watching the show because I wasn't here for the pick'ems. His quote was, "Alabama doesn't have a snowball chance in hell to win the game."
DJ, would you I don't know if DJ had his comments. I have comments. I'll let you go down to South Florida.
I'm gonna go very quick, right? At the end of the day, Mo likes to talk about matchups, and sometimes there's a player, there's a guy, there's a team, there's a situation where somehow they just have your number. And right now, under DeBoer, they're 2-0 versus Georgia, right? One last year, one this year. So I think the psychological aspect goes into that, right? You have a team where the whole
1-7. Kirby Smart's 1-7. I want to give you that too. Go ahead.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. But you have a team where the whole country on all sports talk shows, social media, everybody was shitting on him, right? Everybody was shitting on Ryan Williams, talking about his stats. He hasn't had a touchdown since this week and all that shit. Well, what happens is you get a group of guys and you get a coaching staff and, their backs against the wall and they go against a team that's, supposed to be the David and Goliath situation. But it's like, we beat these motherfuckers last year. That ain't it. So this big bad Georgia team that's coming in, we're not fearful of them. And I think a lot of it had to do with confidence, right? And, I spoke about it early. I do not see an elite team. Any Saturday, a team can get beat. I'm even looking at it in the NFL. Any Sunday, a team can get beat. And this is making it that much more exciting. And I just think that, Alabama, again, they always going to have talent. Right. Yeah. I think maybe it took a little bit of time for DeBoer to get his coaching style and his method in. But again, they might lose next week. Right. And that's what we're seeing in college football. And that's what's making it exciting. There's already conversations about, which 3-loss team is going to make it into the college playoffs, because we know that's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So two things. I will agree to this. I was talking shit earlier. 1,000,000% on any given Saturday, any team can lose. That is a fact. Right. I was just up in Washington, and a couple plays go wrong left, they go wrong right. You can be in a totally different situation. So I will say that I was just trolling and talking shit earlier, but I will be real from a football perspective to say that any team can lose. The second part, I will say this, and I'm not trolling on this. I didn't get a chance to watch that because I was on the winning plane coming back home. So I didn't get a chance to watch it all. So we won, and so I had to travel back, and so I didn't get a chance to watch it. But from the highlights that I see, it goes back to the same thing I said earlier. I'm lying to you on this one. This is the notes I wrote down. When you go back to third down efficiency, Alabama was 13 for 19 and fucking Georgia was 2 for 8.
You're not going to win.
You're not going to win when you're converting. So for the average person who doesn't understand what that means your motherfucking defense is on the field.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to stop these guys, get them 3 and out, punt the ball, get the ball to the other team. But 13 of the 19 times they've converted and kept the opposing defense on the field. When you look right here, they have this thing called hitting yardage. The hitting yardage is always on special teams or in penalties, right? Alabama only gave up 16 yards in penalties. Georgia gave up 70. And so when you're talking about converting the ball and getting down the field and moving the ball or moving the chains, and this is just something that I said I want to speak on here. Oftentimes when it is what it is, I don't get a chance to speak about the nerd stuff in football. But really, I'm a nerd with football. I like the football nuance, the stuff that people understand inside the locker room, the stuff that coaches speak every week, stuff that I hear when I go out to the football facility every week, all the stuff that basically makes a difference. But it's really those two things. Like when you keep the ball longer than the other team has a chance to have the ball, time of possession, you're not going to be in the same position that they are in to basically win the game. And if you can't keep your defense off the field, like, listen to me, everybody's conditioned, everybody's fast, everybody can jump high, everybody can tackle, but at the end of the day, they have this thing called fatigue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when your ass is chasing motherfuckers down, and DJ, you can speak about this from just being a defender. When you're running left to right and left to right, I'm talking about across the field and up and down the field, and you don't have a deep rotation or the guys coming off the bench, like it gets cumbersome. You know what I'm saying?
And I want to bring, you know, our fans and our followers in and sometimes help them find us, have them help us find statistics. I want to know what the statistic is on a 10-play drive ending up as a touchdown, because to go 3 and out, go sit on the bench and have a Gatorade, relax, rest, go over. Now they have iPads.
Yep.
Figure it out. That's easy. But once you get deep into a drive, 8, 9 plays, 10, 12 plays, first of all, you're having to rotate defense alignment, right?
Yes.
One thing that's never spoken about is a wide receiver can run a 50-yard go, not get the ball. He goes on the sideline, takes a breath. Corners don't, right?
Yes.
And so as you start to talk about these long drives and fatigues and the way, you know, breaking down guys, like, listen, once you're into that shit, 10 plays in, there's a lot of self-talk that's happening, right? Like that hype, come on, we got it, we got it. And you can feel the Fifi means like bullshit. You can feel the Fifi in the huddle. Come on, guys, we got all this and that. Motherfuckers is fatigued, right? Motherfuckers is fatigued. Motherfuckers love to go 3 and out, sit on the bench and get a Gatorade. Once you get past play 8 or 9, at the end of the day, a lot of times it's going to end up in some points unless you get a turnover.
Oh, but also you're trying to, at this point, your first 3 plays before 3 and out, you're reacting, thinking, and just going through what you're supposed to go through. Play 8, 9, you didn't tackle somebody, you didn't ran somebody down. You're just trying to contain yourself. You're not even going through all of your checks all the time. And I'm not talking about everybody. And so you have to get everybody band together. And this is the nerd part I talk about with football. This is how people lose and how things break down. But this is literally what I love to do. I love to talk about the nerd shit of football.
Well, to add to that, Mo, it's you know, the first time you're tackling, you're tired. Next time they come and they line up in the same formation. And now you're like, damn, are they going to do the same thing? Or they may not do the same thing. Now you're starting to second guess. You're starting to talk shit to yourself. It's a lot of shit that goes on, right? And
Yes.
and for anybody that just sits on the couch, literally go and watch some film of a guy that's mic'd up. Watch the amount of communication
Yes.
that happens within the drive of a play, the hitting, the running, the jumping up, how quick the ball is snapping, all of that. Like at some point in time, you just imagine trying to have 11 guys on the same page 10 plays in a row. At some point in time, there's going to be a chink in the armor. There's going to be a fracture. Somebody's going to break down. And that's when you see the big runs or the big throws.
So let me ask you guys this. After this weekend's games, I went this morning and I looked at who were the betting favorites to win the SEC. If you could pick two teams, who are the top two teams, the betting favorites now to win the SEC? Who do you guys have? The betting favorites.
Well, my gut wants to say, is it Tennessee and Ole Miss?
I'm going to say Ole Miss and Georgia.
I'm going to say Oklahoma and Oklahoma.
And you're all wrong.
Who's
Texas,
Florida?
Texas and Alabama.
I forgot about Texas.
Texas and Alabama.
I keep forgetting that.
And how crazy one weekend changes everybody's perception of what's going on in the SEC. Texas and Alabama.
Brian, this
Alabama
opens
was
it
dead.
up.
Alabama was dead Friday.
But Brian, this opens it back up for Florida. Like, if you really
I wouldn't go.
Why not? Listen. Right now, Billy Napier has with that beautiful auditorium that you was in, Mo. He got them all in there, and I guarantee he gave them the mathematically eligible.
Yeah.
Listen, hey guys, 3 top teams went down this weekend, mathematically eligible, and then he laid it out. Basically, somehow every team in the SEC either loses or ties, right? And we fucking in the ship.
Hey, listen to me. Misery loves company. He's like, hey, when he's seen all the other people fall, he was like, yes.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see. I don't know that Florida's back in it, but yeah, it's an open race. So just in order for people that care, Texas is favored now to win the SEC, followed by Bama, then Georgia, then Ole Miss, then Texas A&M.
Oh, man,
Isn't that crazy?
I just, no matter how many times we say it, it might take 3, 4, 5 years for me to keep calling Texas and Oklahoma as
in Texas A&M
in SEC.
In the SEC, it just doesn't.
I think Cal in the ACC is worse.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Cal and Stan. I think did Stanford also go to the ACC? I think Stanford did.
Yes, sir. We played them this year.
Last topic in the SEC. So down goes another coach. Sam Pittman is fired now. I think he's been there 6 years, something like that. One thing I found really interesting in his buyout, I don't know if you guys saw this, in 2021, I don't know if it was Arkansas's idea or his idea. I would assume it was Arkansas to have to try to contain maybe his buyout. But to qualify for a buyout, to get 75% of his salary, he had to have a winning record since 2021 when they put this in place with his contract.
Oh, wow.
He's 29-27.
Oh, wow.
So they probably could have waited a couple weeks, a couple more losses.
That shit got bad.
It's a $9.5 million buyout. So it's pat on the back. Here's a bag of money. So now they've got. Did I see Bobby Petrino?
I love that.
Is taking
I
over
love
as
that.
the head coach.
I love that.
We're gonna have a lot to talk about when it comes to
Bobby.
I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
You know what? Just as what I say, Arkansas didn't look too bad. With Taylor Green coming out, I believe they had one of the top 5 offenses in the nation in the first 4 games. They lost 2 games back to back versus Ole Miss, and then the second one versus Memphis, who I believe is undefeated. Correct?
Memphis, yeah.
So both of those teams are undefeated teams, but they lost to them on last drive fumbles. From the running backs. I pay attention to that. And it's just like they're not really a bad team, but now when they played against Notre Dame,
they got mopped.
They got
Yeah.
So you look at it, you just looking at the coach like, dude.
Was a running back wearing a sleeve when he fumbled?
No, he wasn't. I can tell you how he fumbled. When you go for extra yards and you don't cover the ball like this, you try to put it like this, it gets punched out. High and tight all the time. Tuck that elbow. But no, seriously, when you lose like that to Notre Dame, they're like, man, yeah, bro, it's time to go. What they do with the hand-mo?
Yeah, it's time to wrap this shit.
Wrap it up. And I feel bad for him only because, my little bro, he plays D-line there, Quincy Rose Jr., big shout out to you, bro. And he was...
you talking about Arkansas?
At Arkansas,
okay.
Yeah. I think he was like number 3 in the nation for sacks at the moment. But it's just like, dang, you had that happen and you have in the middle of the season, a coach leaves. Like, what does that does to the...
Nah, he didn't leave.
Thank you for correcting me. He get the boot. But he's gone. He didn't leave. You're right. He gets the boot. But what does that do to player morale inside? That the coach, the guys who liked him. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. So hopefully you keep your head up, man. Y'all boys keep rolling.
Nah, they malice to me when they fire. To me, this stuff be having like deeper meaning to it. Like when you fire, that means you've been not liking me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was doing something that you didn't care for, you didn't like, you don't want to take none of my suggestions. Every time somebody suggests something to you, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
And the fan base doesn't believe in you. You don't I'm speculating. I don't have any facts with this. But like when you get rid of people like mid-season and like you don't look, just think about this. You get rid of them mid-season and it's not like you have a chance to go out here and like be a somebody. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. To me, like you're like moving on and saying, okay, like what's next? And I ain't like this nigga anyway. I don't know. I don't know if DJ have any comments. That's how I kind of feel about it.
You know, I put it in our chat right during the game, and I was like, I watched his halftime interview, and it was like the writing on the wall was there. Like in his halftime interview, it wasn't inspirational. There was no fire there. You know, I put in our chat, I said, damn, this is just not a leader of men. Right. And
what was score? I guess what was score when they were after during halftime?
Shit, I think at least. Yeah. They were down, but here's what it was. It was one of those like very vanilla, generic. You know, we gotta execute. We gotta run the ball. We gotta, you know, we gotta get things going. And it was almost like.
He was shaking.
The fire was not there, right? Mm-hmm. And so now in this day and age, right, with social media, all the other different media forms where you know the individuals upstairs are gathering data and gathering information, like you're in the middle of a game, and just his tone and his energy seemed like he had given up, and it was just a situation where, you know, we're just gonna try to not let this get uglier than what it is. And once your coach kind of has that energy, and listen, people, if you can, go back and look at that halftime interview. It really was like, we're going to just, you know, try to do, and it's like, nah, like, where's the fire? Where's the passion? Are you going to go in the back and you're going to go in there and motherfuck these guys and fucking, you know, grab them by the collar and say, hey, we better than this. It's a fucking home game. Let's get this shit fucking going. Like, or are you going to say, hey, fellas, let's try to hold on to the ball and control? And so for me, you know, we speak about leader of men, and that didn't give me leader of men energy. And, you know, we spoke about Lane Kiffin earlier, and he's in the right way. Just anytime that he talks, right? Or you look at Lundy from Ohio State. From Oregon after the game, so passionate, teary eyes, like, motherfucker, the grit, the grind. Like you could tell that they passionate, win, lose, or draw. And it just seemed like he was kind of numb during that halftime interview.
But you know where that comes to me, where that comes from when you see a dude who emotional. You talking about Dan Lanning, correct?
Yes.
Dan Lanning.
Yeah, Lanning, sorry. I said Lanning.
No, I know what you're trying to say. But that comes from how much time you've put into it and how much it means to you. Like you never see people who are super passionate, super emotional, like all of the thoughts that go through their mind literally come from like, I've put everything into this and this shit worked out the way I wanted it to, or we're fighting. When somebody's like nonchalant, they don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, go ahead. I'll push back on that, right? I don't think it comes from lack of effort, lack of detail, lack of pouring into it. I had a close friend that was, a top high school coach out here, and loved it and believed it with everything in his heart. But 3 years into it, he was just like, I don't got the ammo.
What do you mean? The players are the...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't have the ammo. It's like, imagine doing everything right for 3 or 4 years, but their guys are just bigger, stronger, faster.
Yeah, but so like all of that stuff can be true, but I'm talking about the emotional component. If I see somebody, if something just doesn't affect somebody, I like that same interview you seen, just because I'm sitting on the sideline, them athletic directors and everybody else seen it. And somebody had to say like, man, this ain't it. Like, fuck.
Yeah, 100%. That's what it was.
Man, get out of here. If you felt that as like just a lay person down in South Florida watching the shit, like you don't think somebody who really knows him knows what's behind that? Like
it's somebody that doesn't care. Yeah, I don't really care.
Like
about
you don't give a fuck that we getting our shit kicked in right now. This doesn't bother you. You're not. It doesn't grind. Like you don't pause. You don't grind you the wrong way. That's sort of what I'm talking about. But we're saying the same thing, but I just think like that nonchalant behavior comes from I'm not as deeply invested into it. So just imagine if you see the next day, you go out, you see Dan Lanning crying after the game. You know what I'm saying? You see a dude who's passionate about like the shit they're going through. That's the dude that you want leading your young kids. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with both you guys. It was more than his record. The guy had a winning record. You're talking about Arkansas.
Yeah.
I mean, Arkansas hasn't won it. It has never, in the history of college football, Arkansas has never won an SEC championship.
Can I give you a fact though?
Yeah.
They can actually kick everybody's ass.
Wait, hold on.
Arkansas?
Isn't Arkansas where
Walmart.
No,
Walmart.
isn't Arkansas where Jimmy Johnson and head coach of Cowboys went? Didn't they win a championship?
They won a national championship in like 64. They've never won an SEC.
I'm talking about if Arkansas wanted to, Arkansas can bend over Oregon, Ohio State,
They got
Texas.
that bread.
Yeah, they can go straight to Benson. Is it called Bensonville or Walmart?
Well,
Jimmy
Arkansas, University of Arkansas is in Fayetteville.
Okay, but then Arkansas, they can go to Walmart.
Not.
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones, he's got a big influence over there too.
In Arkansas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know.
He played football in Arkansas.
So
Jerry Jones?
Yeah.
Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson won a national championship at Arkansas together. That's why they got that awkward, weird bond, that love-hate shit.
Well, let me tell you this. If they wanted to, they can be like you say, knock on this door. Hey, Mr. Walmart, can we get a donation? Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll piss on field night and everything.
Big time. So you guys were talking about a coach with passion, Dan Lanning, obviously very passionate after Oregon's win there at Penn State during the whiteout. Really good game, really slow first half. Holy shit. I didn't think that was like a defensive battle. I just thought that to me was boring ass football in the first half.
Yeah.
Second half to me was a different game, but I'm going to kick it off with Maurice and Drew Aller. You had some poignant comments about that last week, and Nostradamus, and they came to fruition.
No, here we go. I always say start with the facts, and I'm not beating the guy because he played well against Ohio State last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we almost lost up against to them when we played Penn State. But I looked at him this year, and I looked at their team, and I said there's nothing that they can hang their hat on offense. And I said if you're going to play an elite team, somebody's going to neutralize you to a point. They say, okay, you're going to score, but you're not going to score enough. Then I looked at Oregon. I said, Oregon can score points. When we played them last year, both times, they tossed the ball around. And they're going to have more guys who are shifty and who can create different matchups for you. That'll be hard to defend. Dan Lanning has success against Jim Knowles' defense the first game last year in Eugene. And so, that's why I picked him. And I just got to say, week 4, week 5, when you don't have either big passes and big plays out of your quarterback and he's putting 300 and 400 yard games up against what should be like the lighter part of your schedule, that worries me. And I know the kid, Katron Allen, is the running back. And when he hasn't been getting up and going and becoming a dominant force, I just know you don't have an offensive identity. Like when we talk about Miami, you could talk about the production out of their quarterback. Like, when you talk about us, you may not talk about big plays with Jeremiah Smith down the field, and I got to throw a jab at DJ. That's because he's double covered, right? But we still win. But we have an identity, in regards to who can play and what we can do. But I just didn't see Penn State, prevailing, even though they're at home during the whiteout.
DJ, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll go with Mo when we talk about Alar. Like, he's not it, right? Like, he's not the type of quarterback that's going to win a game for you, even though he picked it up in the second half and, they started to come back. But when you look at this Penn State team, I felt that coming into this season, they felt because of what they did last year, it was just going to automatically be plug and play, right? They felt like they were bringing a lot of guys back, that everybody game was going to elevate. And this is one thing that the New England Patriots do very well. Every season, everything fucking starts anew. Tom Brady used to have to prove himself, right? Everybody on the fucking Patriots team would have to prove themselves. And Penn State came into this season believing that they had that dynamic 1-2 punch in the backfield, right? That Drew was going to be performing better. But again, when you watch the game, there's nobody on the offensive side of the ball that threatens you. And in this day and age with college football, with all of these athletes, especially with the changing of the rules, you're going to have to score points, right? The day and age of those 10 to 13 games, those are very few far in between of actually happening. And then on top of that, too, I felt like Penn State, they cared about all the intangibles that didn't fucking matter. The whiteout, right? ESPN game day. Oh, this is the first whiteout at night. All of these things that are supposed to hype you up and make you fearful. And Mo brought it up last week. Like, Oregon Stadium is one of them. It's a small stadium, but it's one of the most hectic environments ever. And Oregon has traveled and have played in hectic environments all the time. And at the end of the day, when the whistle blows, those 110 fans wearing all white, shaking pom-poms, they can't run, they can't catch, they can't tackle, they can't throw. And so I felt like Penn State just felt like, because of how they ended the season last year, that this year was going to be an automatic upgrade, that they weren't going to have to fight and claw. And I'm sure they probably, had it on their mind, like a lot of teams do that fell a little short. We're going to grind. We're going to get back there. But again, it just seems like something is missing within that program. Where people are talking about Franklin. Is it time for him to go? I think that's still a little bit premature because he has you guys in the mix. And Mo, you've been there with Coach Day. Had a coach that's in the mix that just couldn't get over the hump, get over the hill. Now, what did that look like if Ohio State decided to pull the plug on that, give him the pat, and then start anew? So I don't think it's time for, to fucking give him that pat on the back. But again, it's just a situation where I just feel like a team felt like because what they did last year was going to carry over to this year, and they're not seeing a success.
Yeah, I mean, my question is, and we don't have to take a deep dive on this, but is James Franklin on the hot seat? And is it time to move on? Whether it's not going to be mid-season, but is it time to move on after the season?
I don't think so. I'm all about saving coaches, as you guys can tell, but
Captain Saver Coach.
He's always Captain Saver Coach.
Captain Saver Coach.
No, he's like DJ said, man. He's always in the mix, man. You're always talking about PSU, whether it's Big Ten or playoffs, or the last few years they've been in the playoffs, correct? So you can't. I don't think he's on the hot seat. I don't want to go too deep into it, but no, I don't think so.
I don't think so because their reference point to what DJ said will be Ohio State. So you'll always hold on to, man, if we get rid of him, what do we do? And are we getting rid of him too early? But I don't know, but I'm about to contradict myself. I don't know if they gave him Jim Knowles, who's the defensive coordinator. I don't know if this is their final straw to say, hey,
we've gotten you everything you wanted. The NIL money, the coaching, tree around you, the support staff.
Yes. I don't know if they're doing this. And I don't know if there's also somebody saying that giving somebody else another chance, giving somebody a chance, they can probably do the same thing that you're doing right now. Yeah. Because there's let me tell you this, there's no shortage of good coaches. Like after being in the game, and the dollar amount you're playing, just like they found Matt Patricia on the sideline, there's a bunch of great coaches, given the right circumstance and given the right money, given the right opportunity. You'd be like, oh, we're not thinking about them right now in the moment, but you give somebody the right money and you bring in I'm telling you, you can bring in an offensive coordinator from NFL or a defensive coordinator.
At the coordinator role, correct? Not necessarily as the head coach.
Well, no, he's saying as the head coach.
You're saying as the head coach.
I'm saying that we're not thinking right now of somebody because we're thinking of college coaches, right? Mm-hmm. But there's somebody right now who has a reputation, who's a very good coach, that right now at the collegiate level, you can pay them to make it attractive to them.
I see.
So Ryan Day technically has an NFL staff. He's paying money that I don't know how much a coach, what does a coordinator make in NFL, DJ?
Ooh, shit. I would say
didn't
probably
Chip Kelly just get $3 million?
I would say 3 to 4 million. Yeah.
Okay, so we paid $3 million here. So you know what I'm saying?
Y'all fucking winning.
Yeah. So, that's what I'm saying. You can make the environment can be attractive. And then you have a general manager to where before people didn't like the college space because you had to go recruit. Man, you got a whole fucking recruiting staff now. You have a general manager now. You have to get out there and show face. But these motherfuckers are flying you in, landing, talk on the jet, and, push my staff out there to go do that. Or we can go get some kids out the transfer portal and just pay for them. So it's a different landscape. That's what I'm saying. How we're thinking about it and how it's actually operating at the collegiate level, It just, we may be thinking about it different. They may have somebody else on their roster. So I know that was a long-winded answer, but that's just my thoughts on it.
I hear you. Let's move to the NFL. Let's try to get a couple of NFL games in from yesterday. There were a handful of really good games. I think the to me, the primetime game was Kansas City, Baltimore. I don't know I think we all had a chance to watch some or all of that game. Man, Chiefs looking real again. So what a roller coaster ride we've been on watching them this year. But Alex, you're to me the NFL guy. What do you think?
Chiefs might be back. I know I said last time. Listen, last week I was like, yo, the Chiefs, I'm not sold. Going into that game, like I said, I was high on the AFC North football that, the Ravens going to bring, but they crapped the bed, man. I don't think Derrick Henry was out there in his right mind. He was so worried about fumbling the ball for the fourth time. Then you got Jackson, he ended up getting hurt. Speedy recovery to him, but he turned the ball over. That was uncharacteristic of him. It just didn't look good from their side. But with Worthy back, it's like, yo, they're a new offense.
He's dynamic.
He is very dynamic. And so their running game was kind of clicking. It wasn't great, but it was kind of clicking with Pacheco. And they just looked like a different team. Defense played well. You got Chris Jones. He was just coming off of coming back from a funeral. Yeah. So, he played well. I'm sure he had those boys hyped up. They wanted to do it for him. So if you think about all of those elements, they definitely looked like they were ready to go back and head off to the playoffs, as he's saying.
I need another week.
Nah.
Your turn, DJ. I'm sorry.
I'll dive into like Mo says, like the nerd part aspect is, teams are built a certain way, and they're going to be successful when they have the right players around, right? And so Alex spoke about Worthy being back. Now, did he take the top off the defense? Did he bomb them 100, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns? No. But the threat of him being back allowed the Chiefs offense to operate in the way that it's supposed to operate, right? Now that you have a threat of Worthy going top, safety's got to stay back. What does that do? Now you have the run game. But again, even though they didn't dominate the run game, they stuck to it. They stayed with it, right? Now you have Travis Kelce as that option tight end, in the immediate area working around. And then you have Horton also balling out. So when they get early back, they're going to have their full ammunition plus a guy, right? Plus, yes, when they get early back, but they're going to have a full ammunition plus a guy, right? Because the Horton guy has been balling since early and Worthy's been out. So again, it was just a situation where because they had their down the field threat, they were able to run their offense through the natural flow of how it's supposed to happen. And again, even though Worthy didn't take the top off the defense, what you saw was 11 guys being comfortable with all of the calls and understanding that if I'm in my place, Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to get the ball to me.
Hey man, who was early?
What's that?
Who was early?
Ain't that the wide receiver?
Rasheed Rice.
Damn. Why keep calling him like early?
I was so confused. Like early. I know it's early, but
you guys are boys. That's his nickname. Remember, you guys went to high school together. That's what he's been calling him that for years.
Yeah. So I apologize. I'm talking about Rasheed Rice.
Right. So, okay, I got you. Just so our fans know, so don't be sitting there talking about, they got that receiver early out there. I don't know them early.
All right, the other NFL.
Hey, hold on, Will.
Yeah.
You know what to do.
That won't make it. All right, the other NFL game we're going to talk about, Packers and Micah Parsons go into Dallas and end in an unceremonial tie at 40-40 last night on Sunday Night Football. Man, I was hoping Micah Parsons, I was thinking like 6 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, strip sack, fumble recovery, return it for a touchdown. That's what I wanted. That didn't happen. He did have a sack. He made an impact in the game, but less on the stat sheet. I don't know. Maurice?
Listen to me. I was disappointed. I ain't like all the hugging after the game. I ain't like all the emotional speeches. Listen to me. I wanted like confusion, a couple middle fingers, like some break. I wanted some bitterness. This is entertainment, bro. I ain't like all the nice guy stuff, and I ain't. This is like a drama. Like, much respect to Micah Parsons and the money he's made. This was like, it was 40-40. I was like, the fuck is this, man? I ain't like nothing about this yet. I don't know. I'm a degenerate, like a self-admitted degenerate.
You-
I wanted a little confusion, man. It was too nice. The jersey swapping. He go up to not Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott. Man, you was throwing the ball great. What are you talking about, man? Like I wasn't feeling none of that. I like the little goon behavior. I like as much as I didn't like I like a level right up under and it's a super pause, but Jalen Carter, like I don't want you to spin on somebody, but I need you like right in that little like degenerate phase to play football. But all this like let me hug you after the game and let me put you in my headlock and we homies. Just pouting down in fucking Irvin, like when niggas actually needed you to.
But you got to think his beef wasn't with none of the guys on the field, right? His beef was with Jerry Jones. It really wasn't a beef. At the end of the day,
he wanted his money.
But at the end of the day, I think it was just horrible negotiation between two parties and two sides, to where it got to a point that it turned into a pissing contest and it couldn't be resolved. Right, but I do believe that Jerry wanted him, and I do believe that Michael wanted to be there. So,
okay, but okay, we've been fed this soap opera for 2 months.
Yeah, that's
people
TV.
Drama.
Yeah, that's TV.
Live it out, man. At
That's
least
TV.
what I'm saying is like at least give us the fake. Me and Alex ain't supposed to like each other, so we not about to like each other right now.
Yeah.
I ain't want to see the hugs, man. I ain't want to.
Listen, man, that day and age in sports, with social media and guys working out, and they got the quarterback camps, the receiver camps, they have the pass rushing camps, the pass rush summit. Give a shout out to Von Miller that they do every year in Vegas. Though these guys is friends. Even in college ball now with the transfer portal. Like I remember, look, I remember playing West Virginia. I ain't never met none of these motherfuckers. I ain't never played pop one of these motherfuckers. Well, fuck them, it's up. Right now, Guys is bros on DM. They doing podcasts. They doing sit down conversations. They're building relationships, and I learned that quickly. You see where we're at in life. We're in our 40s. This is when you're supposed to build a relationship. You're supposed to hate each other. That shit with Mike Irv, them niggas with the leather. That shit is over. That shit is over, dog. At the end of the day, they swapping jerseys and they talking about come on my pod next week. Bro, you good? Yeah, you good? All right, how the family doing? Like, that's the conversations that's happening now.
All right, there's two Monday night games tonight. I'm going to ask you guys all the same question. There's 2 games. You can only watch one, but you have to watch one. I want to know which game you're going to watch and why. So it's Jets at Dolphins and Bengals Broncos. But I want to start with Maurice because his head's down and I don't think he wants to watch either. He's already asleep.
I'm watching shit.
You have to watch one.
Hey,
that's the rule. The rule is you have to watch one.
You see white people still making rules. See the white people coming to black spaces and making rules. He's demanding. No.
What the hell?
No.
DJ, this is when you usually jump in. Save him.
No.
Save me.
Listen, all right, I'll jump in.
But for the view, I'm not watching either. I'll go to YouTube.
I'm a Denver Bronco through and through. This is an important game for them, considering they're 1-2 in the AFC. They need to start stacking these wins. They're going against the Bengals, right? Burrow's out. This should be a game that they're going to win, but I'm going to watch the Dolphin-Jets game. This is like in-season toilet bowl, right? and here's the reason that I'm going to watch it.
I was about to explain.
2 bad teams is going to be bad football, which means there's going to be a lot of big plays. It's going to be a lot of fucking up. So if you are that fan that just likes to fucking clap when everybody else claps, because a play happened, you really don't want to know what's going on, watch a game like this, right? This is not going to be for the nerds of football. This is going to be bad football. There's going to be a lot of mistakes, and I believe it's going to be a high-scoring game. And at the end of the day, I don't think anybody cares who wins.
Who are you going to watch?
Oh, well, I'll watch one of them until halftime. I'll watch Jets Dolphins. I want to watch Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson. I'm always interested in that connection.
Okay.
I want Justin Fields to ball out. I want Pittsburgh and Chicago to regret letting him go, letting him
Okay.
walk.
I
Yeah.
don't think we're gonna regret it as a Steelers fan, but I want to watch the Jets and the Dolphins as well. You said both of these guys are bad teams. I don't think the Jets are as bad as the Dolphins. Just coming from the strength of schedule and who they played, they lost some games that were close. 3-1 Steelers. They lost against the Buccaneers, who are also 3-1. So I don't think they're as bad as the Dolphins. So I'm definitely pushing for the Jets. So I'll watch that one.
Thank you, Alex, for answering the question. Thank you, DJ.
I'm not watching
Reese
either.
doesn't play by the rules.
I'm not watching either. Yeah, but Jeff, something else to say?
I just wanted to touch on the Giants. We skipped over Jackson's
We
dark
gotta
hair.
talk about
You know what I'm
that.
saying?
Oh, okay.
Real
well,
quick.
Sorry about that, guys.
Because
So-
that was hold on, Mo.
I mean, we don't have
Mo,
shows Tuesday, Wednesday,
Hey,
Thursday, and Friday.
But Mo,
These are
Mo,
jamming in today.
what did you say about that game? You said they had no what? No fucking what?
Snowball's chance in there. 2 times. We can't let this go on this Tuesday.
Look, I said it. I wanted to watch that game. I was excited because I knew what Jackson Dart was going to bring. He was going to bring energy, right? He was going to
that's
bring.
true.
He was going
Yes.
to bring energy to that. Now, did he have an amazing day throwing the ball? He did not. But they put a little wrinkle in there. He ran the ball 10 times. So between Bo and Jackson Dart, I think they ran for 130, 140 total yards. What I'm waiting for now is this nickname that's going to be given to the duo. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, one that's easy is bow and arrow because Dart throws it. But, like, I want some.
I like that.
We got to get a play on the white shit. We got to, Brian,
Yeah.
we got to get a play on the white shit. We got, you know what I'm saying? We always
Hey.
had chocolate thunder and shit like that. What we got? Tapioca, what we got going on?
Hey,
Like,
I-
so,
so I'll let you finish.
for all the followers, man, and the YouTube feed, man, start throwing out nicknames for the duo, right? Between
Or the
both
all-white backfield
Yeah.
of
Yes.
Scatterboo and Jackson Dart.
There it is.
Go ahead.
No, that's it. I knew DJ had
Oh
something to say.
no, listen to me. So we gonna end the show. Scatterboo and Dart, they had a time when they came. You see when they came in the middle of the field, they dapped each other up.
Oh,
Hey, look, hey, when they looked at each other, I wonder what was going through their mind. I wonder, that's like, man, we killing these niggas.
niggas. These niggas can't see us.
They had that moment, like, because look, it gotta be a white feeling into you to be like, all these niggas out here getting sunburned.
Hey, but look, I'm gonna be honest. Jackson Dart can't say it. Bo, he might get away with it. Like, man, my nigga, you know what I'm saying? You might look at him. All right. Jackson
Hey,
Dart can't say it.
Jackson Dart did hit that.
He
though
did- he
yesterday.
can't- he can't say it.
Dance.
Yeah, he can't say it.
Well, look, I will say this. I finally see what you was talking about when you said they got a little person.
That relationship, yeah.
They got a relationship
and
with
that's
it.
what I was excited to watch. Like, again, it wasn't the game. I was excited to watch those two interact, right? Rookies coming in, team sucks. In their hearts, they believe they're gonna put the whole fucking team, the whole fucking state of New
Yeah.
York on their back and bring them back. And their first go out, they got a W.
They got it done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, we'll be back Monday through Friday talking shit. Remember, all your picks, all the picks that I pick are the picks that you win. The picks that lose are Brian's, Alex's, DJ's.
Motherfucker gonna be tapping you on the back.
Right.
tap your pits on the back.
No more advice.
So we go subscribe, like, and share the content with other people on other platforms. We gone.